crowd music of today really inspired me to be a musician. And I just want to know if you have any advice for aspiring young artists.
You know, so many people ask me that. It's really all about practice, but you gotta be aware that there's just so much competition out there. You know, don't spin your wheels if you don't have the goods. You know, it's not just talent, it's image, and it's drive, you know. When I started playing guitar as a teenager, and by the time I was 16, I knew I wanted to be a rock star, and nothing was gonna stop me. You know, I dropped out of school, all I did was hang out with musicians. And if it wouldn't have been with Kiss, it would have been with another band, or it would have been with my own band. But I was determined to make it, you know. I had put all my eggs in one basket, and, you know, I couldn't fail. You know, failure was not an option for me. And if you don't have that type of fortitude, don't even bother. You know, but then again, you know, I know guys that have regular jobs and play in bands on the weekends, and that's fine. But you know your limitations, know what you're prepared to put up with, because it's a really tough business. And there's a lot of pitfalls and trappings on the way. So if you know what you're up against and you're willing to take that chance to roll the dice, you know, go for it.
Thank you so much. You really inspired me.
Hey, Ace, my name is David,
Hey, dude.
and I got two questions for you. One, do you miss the makeup and the costumes and all that?
No.
And the second one, on the Destroyer album, your hands are in an awkward position, that kind of weird. Does that represent anything, or does that just happen the way they draw it?
I don't, you know, that was the artist rendition. I don't think I ever had my hands like that. Because I don't remember ever seeing a photograph that was a dead ringer for that cover. And I think it wasn't there wasn't there two covers for that record?
Yeah, one after
Why don't you tell people?
Yes, there were two different covers, both by Ken Kelly, and the first cover had the Alive costumes, whereas the Ultimate cover had the Destroyer costumes. And what happened was the record label thought that the first cover with the depiction of a burning city was a little too dangerous and a little too violent at that point. So that's why it was redone with the new costumes and a slightly less violent background.
John Ostrowski. Let's hear it.
Ace, first I want to say thanks for putting yourself out here in an open forum. Thank you so much. Bill LaCoin one time in a Q&A was asked who his favorite member of the band was, and he responded Ace. And I wanted to, not these past, what was one of your best moments that you shared with him?
Well, I had a real good relationship with Bill. We hit it off. He also had a crush on my best friend. So, we used to, a lot of times, in my partying years, I'd go down to the city. We'd stop over at Bill's house. He lived right across the street from St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is gigantic high-rise. And we partied there before we hit the clubs. Sometimes Bobby ended up staying behind. But that story's going to be in my next book. But Bill was a great guy, and even though he was gay, he was a sweetheart of a man. I never judge people by their bedroom tastes. What people do behind closed doors is one that doesn't hurt anybody. And he was a great guy, and I'm sorry he's not with us anymore. I went down to his funeral a couple of years ago, and I ended up driving across country. And I saw some of the things I always wanted to see, even though I had been on tour my whole life crossing the United States. I never made it out of the hotel room most of the time. But, a couple of years ago, I drove cross country with my fiance, and we had a great time. We had Monument Valley, Mount Rushmore, and the Grand Canyon. It was just great. But that's something about sobriety. Your eyes get open. You realize there's a lot more to life than hanging out with people and partying, which ends up to being a dead-end street. So life's great today, thanks.
He's a big fan, and I love the book, No Regrets, makes you a very big person. I
I'm not so big, nothing pisses me off when someone else wearing your makeup. But I wanted to ask you, what is your most fondest memory of your career so far?
Of my whole career?
Whole thing.
You know, one of the things that stand out for me was when we did 3 nights at Madison Square Garden. You know, I'm from New York. Madison Square Garden was always like the ultimate thing in my mind. You know, if you can play Madison Square Garden, because I used to go there as a little kid and see concerts and see sporting events. And you know, the weekend we did 3 nights at Madison Square Garden was like it's one of the things that stand out in my career. Probably one other time was, you know, the beginning of the reunion tour in 1996 when we sold out Braves Stadium in Detroit. That was pretty special. Rock and roll.
Hey, Ace, this is Mark. Yeah, back in the 70s, my 2 favorite rock bands was Kiss and Black Sabbath. I'm very aware that you both bands did a few shows together. I just want to know, how was your relationship like? I'm trying to picture, you know, I was having a beer after the show, or...
With Black Sabbath?
Yeah.
Well, I've hung out with Ozzy a couple of times, and I remember meeting the guys when we opened for them, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, was there any like friction, or is it just like a hey, bye, or what's up?
I don't remember any friction, but that doesn't mean there wasn't any. You know?
Yeah,
I wasn't always present.
Yeah.
There I was, physically.
You heard all the origin stories, the podcast stories. How can the band make up all the other bands away and all that?
I'll tell you where there was friction between us and Aerosmith in the early days, because we had the same booking agent. Yeah, but it was a rival management company, and we were kind of rivaling each other. And I remember one time my road manager, Junior, locked their road manager in a road cage.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff like that went on. The business has changed so much since the 70s, and it's really a lot more of a business now. Back then it was like anything goes, and we were kind of paving the way for the what you have today. But and the internet has changed everything so drastically. A lot of people don't even buy CDs anymore. They download the music, which is okay as long as you're prepared to deal with that.
Because you decided to just change my world and the music. I missed the boat with the Beatles in the 60s, but you kind of filled a void, because everybody had a little character, and everybody wrote the same songs. Thank you for the inspiration, man.
Thank you so much.